Hospital cyber attacks, your news update, and the U.S. needs a credit counselor on this edition of Arbitrage News Weekend, starting right now. Hello and welcome to Arbitrage News Weekend for August 5th, 2023. I'm Joshua Stark. A cyber attack has disrupted hospital computer systems in several states, forcing some emergency rooms to close and ambulances to be diverted, and many primary care services remain closed on Friday as security experts worked to determine the extent of the problem and resolve it. The data security incident began Thursday at facilities operated by Prospect Medical Holdings, which is based in California and has hospitals and clinics there and in Texas, Connecticut, Rhode Island, and Pennsylvania. Upon learning of this, we took our systems offline to protect them and launched an investigation with the help of third-party cybersecurity specialists, the company said in a statement Friday. Apple eked out a slightly higher profit last quarter, even though sales dipped during the period, a showing that may not be enough to sustain investor enthusiasm that recently made the iPhone maker the first publicly held U.S. company to be valued at $3 trillion. The results released Thursday covered April through June, the third consecutive quarter that the Cupertino, California company has posted a year-over-year decline in revenue. That's its longest stretch of falling sales in nearly 7 years. Apple also indicated revenue for the current July through September quarter is expected to decline, despite the anticipated release of the next iPhone. The disappointing forecast, coupled with the lukewarm results for the last quarter, caused Apple stock to fall 2% in Thursday's extended trading. If the shares behave similarly during Friday's regular trading session, it will push Apple's market value below the $3 trillion threshold it eclipsed in late June. Get ready to say goodbye to the once ubiquitous incandescent light bulb pioneered by Thomas Edison more than a century ago. You can thank or blame new federal energy efficiency regulations that went into full effect Tuesday, quite possibly without you even noticing. The Energy Department rules, which date back to the Obama administration, have been whipsawed in the political process for years. Some conservatives and Republican lawmakers long denounced them for interfering with consumer choice and placing undue burdens on business. Under former President Donald Trump, the Energy Department scrapped them in 2019. The Biden administration subsequently revived them. Willie the rodeo goat, who has lassoed the hearts of residents in a rural South Texas county ever since she escaped from an arena enclosure July 15th, has been found. The elusive goat had hidden in sugarcane and cornfields, avoiding capture for weeks in Willacy County, about 300 miles southwest of Houston. Residents searched for her on horses, all-terrain vehicles, and by drone. Local businesses aided the search by donating 90 prizes and gifts worth $5,000 in total, including brisket, bales of hay, and beef jerky, to be given to whoever found her. Ricardo Rojas III did not have to go far to find Willie. He and a friend caught the slippery goat on Monday in his backyard, about 1 mile from where she escaped. The 16-year-old high school junior and family friend Sammy Ambrose were fixing stalls on the family's property when the goat was sighted. More after this on Arbitrage News.
I'm Smokey Bear, and I made an assistant to help you prevent wildfires.
Dude, I've got this. I've been camping since I was 5 years old.
But I am a camping influencer.
You know what? I'll bet you $5. Assistant Smokey, what is the best way to put out a campfire?
To put out a campfire, drown with water, stir, drown again. Then make sure the fire is out cold by feeling with the back of your hand.
Wait, really?
I'll take the $5.
Learn more at SmokeyBear.com.
Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
This week's Arbitrage blog includes self-healing metal, HeLa cell settlement, and the U.S. needs a credit counselor. All this and more in this week's Arbitrage blog, available now at arbitragetrade.com. Now let's go to the president and CEO of Arbitrage, Mr. Royce Wells, for more. Royce, when has the last time you have seen metal heal itself?
Terminator 1, 2, or 3.
Good point. Good point. Yeah, apparently this is not supposed to happen. Scientists observed a metal kind of healing itself under vacuum, and if this process can be understood and controlled, it could be a whole new era of engineering and safety and all sorts of things if you think about it.
Yes, I would like to see that. However, what's to prevent it from becoming like Spider-Man and basically covering people and the rise of the machines from Transformers or... I mean, there are so many things that can happen here.
You have seen way too many movies, my friend.
Hey, science fiction becomes science fact with enough time.
Well,
meet George Jetson.
That's true. That's true. What they observed is a resiliency test. It was titanium, and they were pulling the ends of the metal 200 times every second. And then they observed the self-healing at an ultra-small scale in a 40 nanometer thick piece of platinum suspended in a vacuum. Apparently, it was fatigue damage or fatigue cracks that happened, and it appeared that the crack in the platinum started to fuse back together in about 40 minutes and mend itself before starting again in a different direction.
Interesting.
Yeah.
40 minutes.
40 minutes. 40
Okay.
minutes. What they've confirmed here, according to Brad Boyce with the Sandia National Laboratory, is that metals have their own intrinsic natural ability to heal themselves, at least in the case of fatigue damage. Now, what does this mean? Well,
we'll build them back stronger, faster.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Stronger and faster.
Yeah. So,
only if they're fatigued, though.
So we're talking about bridges, engines, phones. There's no telling how much difference this could make in the grand scheme of things when it comes to things like costs and effort to repair things, And while it's unprecedented, it wasn't exactly unexpected. Apparently, Texas A&M had a study predicting this kind of nanocrack healing, driven by tiny crystalline grains inside metals, essentially shifting their boundaries in response to stress.
Interesting. I wish we all did that. It'd be kind of nice. Or maybe snapping is not a good idea.
Probably
Never
not.
mind.
Probably not. But we noticed that the automatic healing process happened at room temperature. It requires a lot of heat normally to move a piece of metal, right?
Yeah.
But it remains to be seen whether conventional metals in a natural environment could do this as well.
You know what? I'm out. Give me about 40 minutes. I'll be back.
All right, more after this on Arbitrage News.
Hey, wouldn't it be great if life came with a remote control? You could hit pause when you needed to, or hit rewind, like that time you knocked down that wasp's nest.
Uh-oh.
Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. With early diagnosis and a few healthy changes, you can stop prediabetes before it leads to type 2 diabetes. To learn your risk, take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its prediabetes awareness partners.
When might you be buzzed? When you suddenly love everything.
You guys! I love this song! I love these nachos. I love our kickball league! Ugh! I love this guy! What's your name? You know what I'd love? A ride when it's time to head out.
If you see a buzzed warning sign, call for a ride when it's time to go home. Buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
I love your car. Is this real leather?
To protect her home and family in a disaster, Karen was willing to wade through water, mud, and insurance paperwork.
Yeah, I can do this.
You go, Karen! By simply understanding and updating what her insurance covers and doesn't cover now, she'll be better prepared no matter when disaster strikes. Learn other simple ways to protect your home and family before a natural disaster at ready.gov. That's ready.gov. A message from FEMA and the Ad Council.
We've been talking about Shein and fast fashion over the last couple of weeks, and Caroline Hollis is here with us, who has been spearheading that effort. Caroline, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me again, Josh.
Talking about fast fashion, what is it? What is fast fashion?
So it is fast in a lot of ways. It is fast in how the designs are made. We talked last week with Shein and their RICO lawsuit about the algorithm that picks which designs will sell fast. The clothing is made fast. It is not necessarily made well, but it is made very quickly. It gets to the consumers quickly with our online shopping and the fast shipping. And then, unfortunately, it is also fast in how often items and how frequently and quickly items are discarded after they've been worn.
Meaning they basically fastly fall apart.
Yes, fall apart, or, in the modern day with social media, everyone wants to have the newest and latest fashion. And so designers are coming out with fashion styles more quickly than they used to. And so what was new and in style 2 months ago is now considered old and outdated and out of fashion. And I'm not huge on social media, but those who are, especially, posting my outfit of the day, you can't wear the same outfit twice.
It's a thing. It definitely is.
It is.
We were talking last week about how Shein had copied a design that was $300 sweater, handmade, copied it and sold it for around $14, I believe it was.
Yeah, it was something like that. And there's no way that a sweater that is manufactured by a machine for $14 is going to be as good a quality as handmade, hand knit for $300.
Right. Not only is fast fashion permeating fashion and people's lives and influencers and things like that, but there's an impact that we don't really think about, and that's to the environment, Caroline.
Yeah, so with the environment, with not only the materials that are being used, some of the chemicals that are used on those materials can have an impact on not only the people making the clothes, but also those wearing them. You may have heard about several airlines who they got new uniforms for their flight attendants. And so obviously on the same day, they all started wearing this new uniform, and the reports of skin irritation, some even had hair falling out, things like that, starting when they got the new uniform. So they realized that it was one of the chemicals on the polyester uniform that was causing these issues. And not only, with the environment, but just having to ship all the clothes, and then all the clothes are thrown away and landfills and things like that.
That's remarkable. It's interesting to say that. The irritation and things like that, the chemicals that go into it, there apparently is a hormone disrupting chemical that's in polyester spandex socks and sport bras.
Yes, and especially coming out of the pandemic and all the athleisure wear that was coming out, there can be some bad chemicals in some of that stuff. I think it was California recently had a study that came out from some major brands that had these hormone disruptors.
My goodness. And apparently up to 19 times California's safety limit.
Yeah, not just a little bit over.
That just amazes me, and we'll see more, definitely. You can read about this at our blog at arbitragetrade.com/blog. Thank you, Caroline.
Thanks, Josh.
Sometimes I just cannot believe all the storms we've gone through here.
I can only hope that we'll be able to leave this house to you one day, baby. You're our legacy.
Planning for these disasters will make sure we're safe, and is the best way to protect that legacy. You know what? We should make an emergency communication plan. That way we're ready this year. At my dorm, we have emergency kits for earthquakes and wildfires, but I'm sure there's something more local I can send you with a link.
Okay, smart.
protect your legacy. Visit ready.gov/plan for the tools and tips you need to start your emergency preparedness plan today. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
Royce, I know you don't know this name, but Henrietta Lacks is a name that medical research has a lot to be thankful for, basically. And now, 70 years after Johns Hopkins Hospital took her cervical cells without her knowledge, a lawyer for her descendants have reached a settlement with the company that holds and made billions off of her cells.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So here's the long and the short. Basically, tissue taken from her tumor before she died of cervical cancer became the first human cells to be able to be cloned. Now,
that's impressive.
Yeah, they've been reproduced infinitely ever since, and Henrietta Lacks cells, known as HeLa cells, have become a cornerstone of modern medicine. Basically, you can call this company, Fisher Thermo Fisher, and you could say, hey, I need X amount of HeLa cells. They will ship them to you, and you can do all sorts of experiments and things like that on it.
Cool.
Including helping develop the polio vaccine, genetic mapping, and some COVID-19 vaccines. Despite that, Royce, the Lacks family has never been compensated.
Well, that is very unfortunate. Hopefully the lawyers have remedied that.
So the lawyers have dug their heels in with Thermo Fisher Scientific and have filed a lawsuit. They filed it back in 2021, and settlement has been reached in the federal courthouse of Baltimore.
So do we have a number, or did it disclose that?
The terms are confidential.
Oh, well, hey.
As with some settlements.
As it should be, in my opinion. That way you don't get people hounding you.
Yeah, as with some settlements, I mean, it's, where does that stop?
Just know if I won that $1 billion Mega Millions, there wouldn't necessarily be announcement, but there'd be signs.
Millennium Falcon in the backyard.
Backyard, nothing. Top of Clark Tower.
Oh, all right. So the thing is this happened before the advent of consent procedures, and the lawyers argued that Thermo Fisher continued to commercialize her results way after the origins of the HeLa cell became known. And the thing is that they feel like the company unjustly enriched itself off of her cells. And the courts prevailed, and all the parties are pleased, but very unique situation in the court system here.
Sounds like it, but hey, justice has been served.
There you go. Henrietta Lacks was a really amazing lady before. I mean, she was a poor tobacco farmer, and she raised 5 children and a historically black community called Turner Station outside Baltimore, and doctors discovered a tumor in her cervix and saved her cancer cells, and because of her, so many other people have been helped.
Quite the lady.
Yeah, and finally getting the recognition she deserves. For more about her, go to our blog at arbitragetrade.com/blog, but more after this on Arbitrage News.
I'm Smokey Bear, and I made an assistant to help you prevent wildfires.
Dude, I've got this. I've been camping since I was 5 years old.
But I am a camping influencer.
You know what? I'll bet you $5. Assistant Smokey, what is the best way to put out a campfire?
To put out a campfire, drown with water, stir, drown again. Then make sure the fire is out cold by feeling with the back of your hand.
Wait, really?
I'll take the $5.
Learn more at SmokeyBear.com.
Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Why was the basketball court all wet? Because the players kept dribbling on it.
The dad joke. Corny, grown-worthy, but also one of the simplest ways to share a moment with your kids.
What did the buffalo say when he dropped his son off for school? Bye, son.
So take a moment to make your kid laugh, because dad jokes rule. Make your kid laugh today. Go to fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
David Grantham is here. He is our Costco guru. You might as well accept it at this point, David.
Yeah, it's good to own your bad habits, right? So,
right.
Yeah, so we're here to talk about the top things to get at Costco. And you had written a great article about some just categories that are available at Costco. And by the way, we are not sponsored by Costco, but if they want to, we'll take it.
Give us a holler. Right.
But so the listing kind of goes. We'll go from the top. The Kirkland Signature products. So they're store brand products, and you can get some good stuff like toilet paper and batteries, and they got some really good stuff. But my favorite Kirkland Signature product is like, if you get their canned meats. I know that sounds so mundane, but they're like long-term meats and some of the stuff that you can store for a long time. They do a good job with it.
Yeah, they bring up a lot of products with this, as far as just a wide range of products from some very quality perspectives. Another thing, fresh produce.
Yeah. So the only problem I have with their fresh produce is sometimes they give you way too much. So if you're buying, anything from they have great prices on strawberries and on fruits and vegetables, and their quality is awesome. It's the only bad thing about it is they give you so much, and so you kind of feel bad about stuff spoiling. So plan on freezing what you get if you can.
Right. Speaking of freezing, meat and poultry.
Yeah, I think that kind of goes along with all the things at Costco. You might want to have a freezer on hand, like a separate freezer to store all the things, because they give you a lot. But yeah, I don't think I've bought steak from anywhere but Costco, and maybe a specialty meat shop in a long time, because no one beats their quality on steak, and also their ground meats, and anything else they do, they just do it well. So
electronics, I know you bought.
Now this is my Achilles heel, but it's a good one. I don't buy computers or electronics from anywhere else because of their return policy. And they give you an extra. They either will double your warranty or put an extra year on your warranty for all your electronics. So man, you can't beat it for the price.
Go to arbitragetrade.com/blog for the rest of this article, but we're gonna skim over some things here and talk about some of our honorable mentions at the end of the article. David, we really like our ramen here at Arbitrage, and one of the best companies for ramen out there these days is Nongshim, and we love the Tonkatsu 6-pack. It's around $15. Really good stuff. Not to mention the more famous Eat This, Not That substitution has been this particular 4-pound bag of chicken nuggets that taste just like Chick-fil-A. Verified, these chicken nuggets, while not spot on or close enough, they're $23 for 4 pounds. You can also get it in a smaller package elsewhere for $9.99. You said there's a pro tip.
So if you want to just air fry it regular, it still tastes really good without any extras. But if you add some peanut oil on the top of it a little bit, it tastes a lot like the Chick-fil-A nuggets.
Back after this.
Hey, hon, what you doing with your phone? Taking pictures?
No, I'm asking it questions.
Like what?
Hey, Bobo, do flowers have best friends?
I'm sorry. I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, follow me. I want to show you something. Look, flowers do have best friends.
Whoa.
Some answers can only be found in nature. Discover the unsearchable. Visit discovertheforest.org to find a trail near you. Brought to you by the United States Forest Service and the Ad Council.
What is dedication?
My daughter is biological and my son is adopted. I love them both so much. From the morning when you wake up to putting them to bed at night and every moment in between. I think a parent's job is to protect our children, but also prepare them for the world so they become good, kind human beings.
That's dedication. Find out more at fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Fitch Ratings has downgraded the United States government's credit rating, citing rising debt at the federal, state, and local levels and a steady deterioration in standards of governance over the last 2 decades. Royce, so what?
Exactly. So what? Okay, we were at quadruple A.
Triple A.
No. 2 or 3 years ago, we were at quadruple A, and they downgraded us to triple A. Now we're going from AAA to AA+. China did it in January of 2021, if you need to look that up. It's in our State of the Bands for that month, when we were still doing State of the Bands. But, okay, so it's a credit rating. A lot of stuff goes on your credit rating. Some things are good. They're just analyzing how much of a risk you are. And just to be frank, it's like saying, okay, you had an 850 credit score, now you have an 813. You're still in the 800s. Life's still good.
Well, they did make the argument that it was still an investment grade.
Yeah, like I said,
we're
you
not
can still buy a
risk.
house with an 800 credit score,
but
it's just not perfect. It's not 850.
Well, here's the thought, though. If it keeps going like this with political polarization and Washington standoffs over spending and taxes, it could start costing U.S. taxpayers. A lower credit union over time could raise borrowing costs for the government.
Well, absolutely. Interest rates are going up for a reason.
Yeah.
So with the interest rates going up, that means the amount of money that's being held is making more money while it's sitting.
Yeah.
And typically from an economics point of view, right, it's safer to be in the bank than in the market. Risk-free return on investment versus risky return on investment.
Right.
So, hey, the Fed's pulling all the levers, doing exactly what they need to do to make sure that we don't go belly up.
Here's my thought on this, and I'm curious as to why they would do it. I just feel like it was kind of arbitrary, kind of, here's what we can do, da-da-da.
No, there are thresholds, there are levels, there are high watermarks, there are low watermarks, and basically we fell just below the AAA to AA+.
AA+, yeah, a AA+ is the rating that we're at right now. And who really pays attention to that, to be honest with you?
Well, I know if suddenly we got rid of a little bit of debt, just like when you pay off your credit cards, your score go up just a little bit. People are like, hey, we just got upgraded back to AAA. Will that cause a rally? Will that cause the next bull market? Maybe.
Maybe the U.S. just needs a credit counselor to go, here's what you need to do with your money.
What, an 800 plus credit score? I don't think all that's required.
Yeah. I know that the U.S. has been borrowing money for years, pretty much post World War II. Seems like we've had robust credit and robust borrowing. Where does it stop? Why can't we pay off everything?
You don't want to do that.
Why not?
There is not enough time to discuss that. Because basically how you leverage your money is leveraging your money. You trade things for services, for things, and if you pay it all off, no one owes you, so that means the money's not moving. And then you have a stagnant economy.
Well, for private citizens, and I found this out, 30% of your credit score actually goes to open accounts.
Yep.
If you close those accounts, there goes that. Have a great weekend. Think about your credit. Bye-bye now.
FICO.
Arbitrage Trade Analytics, LLC is a privately held research company. Arbitrage Trade Analytics, LLC is solely responsible for the preparation and distribution of the contents of this podcast. The opinions offered in this podcast are for informational purposes only and are not intended to function as investment advice. Seek a duly licensed professional for investment advice. For more information about the informational research and services offered by Arbitrage Trade Analytics, LLC,